welcome back, and welcome to my vegetable garden in fact. And today I'm going to be doing a bit of a midsummer, late summer, I'm not sure, it's in between, garden update and garden tour of my vegetable patch. And my flower garden, I might do a tour of that in the future if you want it, so just let me know in the comments. But there's not really much going on there at the moment. Whereas there's a lot going on here, and I've got a very full vegetable patch at the moment, and that's why I want to show you today everything that's going on in my vegetable patch and everything that I'm harvesting, everything that's growing, and I'll also show you my greenhouse where lots is going on again. Before the video gets started, please go down below, hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon to make sure you're notified next time I upload a video. So starting up here in my little mini food forest sort of thing that I've got going on, I've got, well, it's very full at the moment. And actually the sunflower patch, which you would have seen in my last garden tour or update, is actually starting to flower now, and that's really exciting, especially for the bees as well, but also exciting for me. And the blackcurrants, they've got their last fruit on them, and I just need to pick them, freeze them, and then make the big batch of jam that I've been speaking about. So they're nearly finished. Then they've got, around the base, they've still got the courgette, which still hasn't started producing yet unfortunately, and it's been quite slow to be honest. I've also got some cabbage as well, and brambles, but they're not meant to be there so I won't tell you about them. And I think that's about it for here. The courgette that was up there actually died because I think a mole had been underneath it and eaten its roots, but I'm not exactly sure. I often have things eating roots of my plants and they start disappearing, but oh well, there's not much I can do about it. And down at the back here I've still got my 30-litre buckets which I grew potatoes in, and I've still got my last Charlotte plant there, and I actually, just before I filmed this clip, I just harvested some new Charlotte potatoes ready to be roasted for our roast today for dinner. But I've got some carrots growing in this bucket, which, a bit of an experiment. They should work well. A lot of people I've seen use buckets and they do well carrots, but I've never done it before, so it's a good experiment. And then I've just planted some in the buckets that are empty, and I've reused the soil actually, and I've planted some more potatoes, but they're shop bought ones that I started sprouting, and I think they're organic, they're locally grown as well. They bought them in a big sack and we couldn't eat them all in time, so they've all gone to sprout, so I've put them in, and that's just free plants really, and hopefully they'll be ready in autumn time or maybe Christmas, but I'm not sure. I think it'll probably be earlier than Christmas. And then as we move down into this part of the garden, we've got this enviromesh hoop house, some people would call it, full, absolutely full to the brim with plants, and I mean it's full. And I've got some leek seedlings which I'm not sure are going to survive because it's such dense foliage in there. I've got kohlrabi, and we started eating kohlrabi, and it's the first year I've ever eaten it and grown it, and it's delicious. I love it. I think it's probably one of my favourite vegetables. And if you haven't tried kohlrabi, the taste, well, we steam it and we have it as a vegetable, and the taste is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit between a cabbage and something sweeter. It's like a sweet, really sweet cabbage. It's lovely, and I recommend any of you to try it. And they're also meant to be very, very healthy for you as well. And then at the end I've got some Calabrese broccoli, which isn't doing so well, it's looking a bit worse for wear, and some Swedes, which are ready for Christmas hopefully. I've also been doing succession sowings of Swedes in other places. And then I've got my Taunton Dean kale at the end, which is absolutely huge, and I think it's about a year old. We got it from a cutting from someone, and we had it for the other day for dinner, and I cut the stalk out because it's quite tough to stalk, and I cut the leaf bit, and the leaf was actually bigger than my face, which is crazy, and it was actually it was the tastiest kale I've ever had. So if you can get some of that as well, make sure you get one of those plants. And then moving on from that hoop house bit, I've got 3 sprout plants here, and they're also for Christmas. We love having our homegrown sprouts for Christmas. And as you can tell, a lot of things I do grow for winter, for Christmas. I've got one beetroot, the others got eaten. It's quite funny actually how sparse and how many plants actually die in my garden. I've got my gherkins, my partner, I don't think they're partner, the variety. These are doing great. And we harvested our first one the other day, and it was actually, you can't believe, until you grow your cucumbers for the first time, you'll never know how tasty they are compared to shop bought. Then I've got a tomato here, money maker, and it's got flower buds coming on it. And then greyhound cabbage, some more swede, some more carrots, sprouts and beetroot at the down at the end. And these cabbage are the first ones I planted this year, and the first one's starting to heart up. And I'm really excited to try these because surprisingly for once there's no cabbage white caterpillars in anything that I've grown. And moving down here now, I've actually picked these Charlotte potatoes that I spoke about last time. They're picked and they gave a really good harvest. And then I've also got down here some peas and mange tout. The peas snapped over in a strong gale and there's not actually many on them, so I'm hoping more flowers will come. The mange tout we're getting a harvest about every day. And the nasturtiums, I've got 2 nasturtium plants and they've gone crazy and they're growing in between everything, and there's flowers in the peas. It's really pretty but quite crazy. A Calabrese broccoli in there, and there's actually a broccoli head growing on that, which is really exciting. And then I've got my runner beans and pak choy as well, which we had in a stir fry the other day, which was really nice as well. And these runner beans, I'm actually pinching out the tops because when they reach the top, they'll keep growing. But if you keep pinching them out, then you'll get more flowers and in return more beans. And I've got a feeling that last time I showed you around my garden, I think these raspberries and all the currants were in fruit, and these currants and the raspberries here have actually finished now, and they finished a few weeks ago now. The sunflowers coming out there in that sunflower patch as well, which the bees are loving, and there's also a lot of weeds in there, so I need to have a really good weed around the back of things because I don't see it as much, but I still need to do it because it's a bit of a mess. But yeah, these raspberries actually have another crop going on there. We've got more flowers, and these, I don't know what, I think they're meant to be autumn ones, but we get 2 crops in spring and in autumn then. And then coming down into this bed, the broad beans have come along a very long way, and they're actually getting really tall and flowering now, which means I've been pinching the tops out, because when they start flowering you're meant to pinch the tops out, or you can, and it means that they'll produce more flowers and more beans, just like with the runner beans. So for example, this plant, just pinch the top out, I leave it to rot on the ground, and then you're sorted. I'll do it up here as well, but I'll do that, I won't waste your time watching this to do that. And then the carrots at the bottom are getting there. They're not huge, but they're getting there, so they'll hopefully be harvested all soon. And the strawberries have also finished on this side here, and that bed over there, not doing great this year. The soil's not great, it's only multi-purpose compost, so I'm trying to mix in molehills that I found around the garden to try and make the soil a bit better and a bit more of a loam than a compost. And lastly, for this part of all, this side of the vegetable patch, is this bed, and this raised bed. I've got kale, for some reason that one's wilting, but oh well. Got kale, these are the 2 first ones that I planted that are succeeding, the others are younger plants, and I've caned them all up because usually when I grow things like brassicas, like kale, sprouts, they all flop and they get really messy towards the end of winter. So I've told myself I'm not going to let this happen this year, and this year I am going to try and make sure they're all neat and straight growing up. And then at the end, the kohlrabi, there's only 2 plants left now because we've started eating them, as I said earlier. And then this will probably be replaced with another brassica, maybe some more swede, ready for winter and for Christmas. And then I've interplanted these with some radishes, and at the end there's courgettes, which I've picked today for our roast again, as I said. And I pick these now shorter. I used to let them get really big, but I found they started to rot at the end when I grow them really big, so I've decided to start cutting them at a smaller size and cut more of them, but at smaller sizes, so it encourages more growth, and that seems to be working quite well now. And then there's potatoes at the end. They're a mess because the wind. And lastly, I'm going to show you my greenhouse. My greenhouse only cost me £20, and I'm thinking of making a video all about this greenhouse and how I made it in the future. So if you want to see that, then please leave a comment down below letting me know that you want to see a video about my greenhouse. And in here there's a lot going on. as I said. So let's open the door. There's a lot of tomatoes at the moment. We've got the dried gork tomatoes, which means the red dragon, sorry, in Welsh. And I've also got peppers coming, and a whole lot of cuttings that I'm trying to propagate, because I've gotten addicted to making free plants. So that's about all that's in there. But the tomatoes, they're doing really well. There's quite a few vines of them coming. I've pinched them out now because they reached the top. And the bell peppers, well, they're doing great, because the first few flowers that came, they didn't actually get pollinated, but what I've been doing now is I've been putting them out to get some sun or some more light and air when it's been warm and sunny. So I've been putting them outside to get some more energy. And I actually saw some honeybees pollinating them. I didn't think this would happen. And it's really working. I've got one big long sweet pepper coming, well, loads of long peppers coming, and then I've got one bell pepper at the moment, but there's more to come. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my garden update for midsummer, and if you did, please go and check out all of my other videos all about how I grow my food and how you can grow your own food too, and a few bits about flower gardening. So if you could, please hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.